I actually try and do stuff from life. Maybe somebody will be hanging out with somebody, we'll say something funny, and they won't even think anything of it, and then it'll appear in a comic strip. Going out to, I had some beers with some friends, and we were talking about how my yard was, I gotta go mow the yard, blah blah blah. It's getting too just out of control. And I said something about the grass is so high, that the velociraptors are there. So, the next day there was some sort of gag about velociraptors. It started off as a therapy session, kind of just another creative outlet. My family's been through a lot of stuff with my son having cardiac arrest and things like that, and so just trying to think of, well, what's just something to kind of keep my mind from worrying, and that's where Pokeweed comes in. Of doing the strip is learning. I draw him different than I did strip 1, maybe 1 through 20. It's just a little bit different. He's actually got hair like one of my nephews, where it's kind of this, I don't know what you want to call it, Dutch boy, sort of longer but parted, and just, just nice hair. I had originally started the comic strip about, what was it, almost 10 years ago. It was called Filibuster back then, and it was only 2 characters. It was basically Phil and Buster, so it was Filibuster. And then I knew that I wanted to create, say 10 years later now, I wanted to create a bigger strip, just more. And so I need to have more characters, so it could just be named after the 2. Struggled with the name, and a friend of mine sent me the name Pokeweed, and I just thought, well, that just sounds weird. And a lot of people were thinking it had something to do with, weed and just, marijuana and stuff, and that's not it at all. But Pokeweed to me is small town USA. First I thought he would be a little kid, but then I have him engaged in things that Buster might be doing that would be, say, age inappropriate. So I had to make him, maybe he's just a short teenage kid, or tween is kind of what I'm envisioning. And I try and give Buster as much emotion or whatever as I can through his glasses. He doesn't have an eyebrow or something, so the reflection in his eyes are what really help. Is he pissed? Is he confused? He's never really happy, but he's kind of the crotchety character in the classic Frosty the Snowman hat. It's kind of the anti-Frosty, or unfrosty, just kind of a crotchety jerk, almost more like a Archie Bunker who means well, but it's just kind of an ass. I like to take, when I envision it, I think of things that, as I was growing up. So that'd be technically Western New York, but there's also events that have happened in the strip that take place here in Redmond. So it's, the tagline is basically, just south of nowhere. So that could be anywhere. So I try and incorporate life, things I've been through, just people, gags, whatever it is. They're going to go places, they're going to go do things, but in Pokeweed, Pokeweed is everywhere. I don't want to say it's omnipresent, but it can be anywhere. I can pull a restaurant from here in Redmond, or a river in Jamestown, New York, where I grew up. Little things like that. Actually, I don't know if I just made sense a minute ago, but I like to sometimes break the frame with, maybe it's a little hand or something. Just, I don't like, you know, the whole super clean look that you would see in most comic strips. Like a distinct, everything's got to be the same sized frame. Ultimately, I would love to get it to be, that's what I want to do, that's my passion, is the comics, and I do them again for me, in hopes that viewers will like it, will enjoy it, and keep reading. Still got to get that strip done, because I'm trying to dedicate myself to it. Committing to the fans that when they wake up in the morning, there's going to be a new strip. And it's a unwritten contract, unwritten law, but it's just kind of a precedence that I'm setting that is a good one that other daily comic guys have done, where people just expect it. And as soon as you start flaking, your numbers go down, and you kind of offend people. This is where the wordsmithing kind of can get exasperating. The process is fun. The writing process is a challenge. It's very hard for me, but I really enjoy it, and it's stretching me more than I would have ever imagined. I can never trust myself, so I have to resort to spell check, because I can't be trusted. And then when I really don't trust it, I use my good friends at dictionary.com. And sometimes you have to make sure you're really doing the right thing. I always get friend wrong. Catch the fact that I miss certain lines, or that I don't like certain lines. This area in here bothers me. Same thing. So then I'll say, okay, well, forget that. So back to the... And I usually don't use backgrounds. I tend to let that be up to the viewer. Not that I imagine that they're anywhere other than, say, outside or whatever, but... And then I like to, before I load it up, check my emails, things like that, kind of stare at it, and then I'll actually do my final export once I get everything. Cause sometimes as I'm staring here, I might notice that, wow, his eyebrows look just like a giant bird or a worm or something weird. So I've got really good friends and family that are fans. Lots of people from all over the place. That's the cool thing again about the internet. People in Taiwan, people in trying to think of where some of the more eastern, the Eastern Bloc, you know, kind of places. Places you never even think of or do it. All the way down to like Brazil. I get little notes and stuff from people all over. They just like it. So I feel like I'm on a path to something fun, and hopefully we'll see.